some of those triple-digit temperatures, mentally preparing ourselves for the weekend ahead, and preparing yourself for the week too, because we've been hearing about it all month. It is back to school season.
Back to school.
Parents, you're prepping to get the kids back into the classroom, but it's also important to stay prepared when it comes to the housing market directly affecting this situation. Of course, Realtor Dannel Shepard here to break it all down for us as usual. Okay, Dannel, we were just talking about the fact that environments like this, how things change societally, it directly impacts the housing market. So what are we seeing with back to school?
So first, I always got to tell you, thank you for letting me be on here.
Of course.
I love to be in and talk to your viewers. So jumping right in, so the things that are affecting, right? So you got back to school.
Yeah.
So now the buyers, right? So the demand is still there, but it's not as competitive, right? The market is not feeling like a 110 like that. Like
right,
that temperature we just
exactly,
heard.
yeah.
But the ability to now to somewhat take your time and to negotiate, right? Because now most people who want to get in that school district, because school districts do matter.
Right.
Now that people are in the school district where they really want to be, and there's some who aren't. So it's not as many lookers or many buyers that are out there, but on the seller side, because people are now more parents are focused on, you know, we're back to school, we got sports, or what are we doing on the weekend, trying to get into a routine.
Yeah.
So now sellers' houses could be sitting longer, or we don't have as many listings coming on right now because we're trying to get back into the swing of thing with this market change.
Right.
So
that makes sense. And I mean, it's just like one of the busiest times of year for especially families. Now it's talking money, talking numbers, adjusting prices.
Oh,
we're hearing about that happening.
Yes.
What's driving that right now?
Again, it is the back to school, right? So we don't have that summer peak season anymore. You know, summer, it was revving up and people were getting there again. It was hot, like the temperatures were feeling.
Yeah.
And now people are focused. They're focused. So sellers that had their house on the market in the summer that did not move are now starting to go back and start to strategize. You know, that's why I always tell people, get with your expert. Make sure you hire someone that you can relate to and that you can actually discuss. And together, not just you, not them, but together you have a plan. If it doesn't move at this time, this is what we should do. And so sellers are starting to use plan B, because whether they overpriced or aggressively priced, and now so they're trying to, you know, I don't want to say roll back prices, but they're adjusting their prices.
Right, yeah.
But I will say, again, like I spoke before, location, condition, and price. Homes that are priced correctly are still moving at a faster rate than homes that were not priced based off the market conditions.
Okay.
So that is very important that we pay attention to what the market is saying, and it's back to school. Whatever the things that we can't control that are now in the market.
Yeah, keeping our pulse on that for sure.
Yes.
Really quick before we have to go to break, how is that affecting inventory levels? Because I know you're saying things might not be moving as quickly, so how is that affecting what's on the market?
With school right now, we don't have as many listings, and so the competition, you know, is not as high. Inventory is not where we would want to see it.
Okay.
So people are, once I think we get into the later Septembers when actual fall, because we're still summer.
Right.
So when fall truly kicks in and people settle, the inventory will still go. There's still inventory, there's still houses, it's just not as much. And as always, the buyer demand is still there.
Always, yeah. Dannel, thank you so much as always for those insights. We so appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and stick with us. We'll be right back after this.